Hi, everyone.
Hi. It didn't do the normal countdown that it normally does.
That's only Crowdcast that does a countdown. StreamYard is like, it's happening.
For some reason, I was like, I thought that there was a countdown. No.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
It's Wednesday and it's time for book club.
Yes. How are you guys doing? We got tons of people. Hi, Courtney and Jane and our other Lisa, Renee, Izza, Cozy Home Corner. Girl, I like that eyeshadow you're wearing in that picture. That looks amazing.
Pretty.
Anna, I didn't get to finish, but I'm excited to hear everyone's thoughts. She really enjoyed this one. We've got April here. She got 58% in. Nancy, Marilyn. We've got Summer. She says that she skimmed the rest of the book to find the killer. Hello from Boston, Trisha and Britt. Hi, guys. So excited to see you guys here. Super, super excited.
So to recap, we are reading Murder, She Knit.
Yes, Murder, She Knit by Peggy Ehrhart.
Oh, you have the physical book.
Okay, so I purchased this book like a year and a half or 2 years ago, and I had never actually picked it up to read it. So then whenever everybody was like, yeah, that's the one we're reading, I was like, oh, it's a book that I own that I actually haven't read yet.
That's hilarious. You fell for the cute cover.
I did, because look how cute the cover is. And like a little knitting, and then the cat kind of looks like Cleo. Like, I did. Speaking of Cleo, she's meowing at my door. Hold on one moment. I'm going to go get her because she will get very hangry.
So the cat in this book is named Katrina with the C. So it was like a stray black cat that was on the porch that she kept feeding, and then eventually it came into the house.
Yes, okay, but I kind of felt a little ripped off because I thought because of the cover that the cat was going to have more, hello, baby girl, that the cat was going to have more of a role in the story, because a lot of times they do have more of a role in the story. And no. I mean, I'm very, very happy that at the end she came inside and everything like that. But I expected what the cover was showing me to I had high expectations.
Yeah, the cat would be darting around, playing with yarn, trailing it through the house. Yeah, be there for the knitting meetings.
All right, we've got Karen and Morgan. Hello from Las Vegas. Haven't had a chance to read the book yet. That's okay. We're going to recap it for you.
Yep.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad I got the audiobook. The audio didn't have the pattern and recipe, and I want to make both.
Oh.
I can take a picture and send you the recipe if you want me to. It's an adorable cover for sure. Yeah, the cat wasn't involved.
Not really.
I was like, I want the cat. Give it to me. Maybe she'll get more involved further in the series. Yeah. Favorite paranormal cozy mystery. Oh goodness. I got so many. So many. Yeah, she did just get the cat. All right. So while we start recapping, why don't you guys put the your star rating for the book Murder, She Knit, for those that were able to finish it. I actually finished it today during Alex's nap.
Oh, wow. Down to the wire.
Literally.
I think I read this before it was even selected. I could see the votes and I was like, I think it's going to win. I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
So I had to reread my notes. Do you want me to start or you want to start?
Yeah, no, you can start. Okay. You can totally start.
All right, so it's basically just like the description on the back. Pamela is in charge of this magazine called Fibercraft, and she seems older, and she hosts this knitting group at her house every Tuesday at 7:00, like ours, but on Tuesday instead of Wednesday.
Yeah.
And all these people get together, and they're kind of just people that like knitting, and they chat, and they gossip, and they eat. And so she runs into her old friend Amy, And Amy's in town. She's going to teach at the university. So she invites her to the knitting club because I guess Amy's also interested in knitting. Apparently, Amy is like this super beautiful, supermodel, gorgeous person. And she has a sister, Dory, who she describes it as kind of mean. She's like, she goes, Dory, in her homely face. I was like, oh.
It took me back to high school when someone told me that I was homely looking.
No, you're like absolutely gorgeous. Like exquisitely so.
Thank you. But yeah, no, someone in high school, she legit told me that I looked homely. And I was like, what? It was very confusing.
Jealous. So Amy gets killed right in front because she never shows up, and they're like, I wonder where she is. They go outside. She goes outside to look for the stray cat. So the stray cat's like, the only subplot with the cat is it comes sometimes, it doesn't come, and then finally it comes into the house. And so anyways, she finds her friend out there stabbed with knitting needles instead. Now, in the meantime, she's really annoyed by her neighbor, who is an emergency room doctor, Dr. Randolph. And I'm like surprised to admit that I did not know the definition of the word Lothario. I don't even say
Lothario. Yes.
So it's a man who dates women in a very demeaning way. So I had to look it up. So she's super annoyed because he's a divorced guy living in the suburbs, which I don't know why. She thinks he doesn't have a right to be in the suburbs because he's a divorced guy and he should be like in the city and happy and swinging. And so she sees these two women coming in and out, but it's actually his teenage or college age daughters. So they're not anybody that, whatever. And then she's also annoyed by his garbage and how he doesn't pick it up correctly. And it was kind of weird. I think what was really persnickety about it is like, instead of just picking up his garbage to be like a friendly neighbor, she writes him a note. Like it's 1945 or something.
Well, I guess like she just like waited for days for him to like pick up his own trash. And then she was finally like, fine, I'm just going to write him a note. And I'm like, well, that's a little passive aggressive, but
right.
Just a little bit.
It was painful to watch. So anyway, so after this, she meets the victim's sister, Dory, who she calls homely, and Dory's super nice and friendly to her. And she like brings her like knitting needles and all this knitting stuff. She's like, here, you can have it. And she's like, why don't you come to the funeral and come to the viewing and everything? And then so we find out that she's rich, like her family's super wealthy, super like upper class. And then in the meantime, there's like this, she thinks like maybe the yarn, there's some special Afghan hound yarn, and she like goes to this sideways investigation to see if maybe that's the reason she was like, maybe there are drugs in the yarn. I was like,
yeah, Dory was like, maybe there's drugs in the yarn. So then they start unwinding it and putting it in the ball, and
there were no drugs in the yarn. This was a dead end. But it's kind of funny because she keeps going off and off on this dead end. And then she's like scoping out her neighbor because then she thinks maybe her neighbor killed her. And so he's like checking on his ER schedule at the hospital.
Yes.
Waiting outside to see when he comes and goes. And
because the neighbors lived in the same apartment as Amy. And he had Afghan socks when they accidentally bumped into each other at the grocery store. And she swears that those were the socks that Amy had written about in some of her pattern note making.
Right. Yeah. And so she thinks maybe it's him, but it's not. And then she keeps like, I guess I didn't really understand how their community was set up. I thought she had a house, but then there's like a supervisor who.
No. Okay. So the way that it was is that she lives in a very old neighborhood, and Larkin is the architect that was divorced with the two kids in the house right next to her. But there was a huge sort of like apartment complex building that she would walk by, and that's where Amy and the doctor lived.
Oh, and that's where the supervisor was that kept seeing her playing in the garbage.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So she's playing in the garbage. I don't know if you want to take over. And then the second time she's playing in the garbage, she finds another dead body.
Yes. Yeah. So she finds the dead body under her porch. Then she goes and she's trying to figure out sort of who would want to kill Amy. First, she thinks that it might be her sister, Dory, because of just sort of like how nonchalant Dory is. Like the first time she meets Dory, Dory's underneath her house in her crawl space, sort of like walking through where Amy was killed, which was very off-putting for me. I'm like, what? Why are you underneath her house? Kind of thing. And then she just seemed like a really big awkward turtle. So like she became a suspect. The ER doctor became a suspect because of his Argyle socks. And then the next person that became a suspect was actually her, one of the knitting club member who lost her metal needles. She thought that she had killed Amy because of something about her husband's job at the college. So then that brought Pamela to go to the college to go sort of snoop and figure out what was going on there. And she found that Amy sort of went into the design world of this college and was going to like flip things on its head. And so then she thought that another professor killed Amy because she kind of took her job. And so she was sort of like looked over for promotion. And there was just like,
the crazy part was the picketers outside. She was like, the students are picketing because of me. I'm like, I don't remember in college ever caring about any of the professors' promotions. Like, I just don't.
I didn't even know. Like, part of me is like, okay, was it just like a really, really, really small college? So like everybody knew each other kind of thing. But so there was a lot of sort of red herrings of like different avenues that the killer could be. All the while, this is during Thanksgiving time. So Pamela is getting ready for her daughter Penny to come in and have family time with her. We learn more about her neighbor, which I think is supposed to be the new romance for her because her husband died 5 years prior in an accident, which I kept thinking that might be a mystery within a mystery because it sort of seemed as though it was suspicious death.
Yeah, and then they never mentioned it again.
And I was like, that would have been a really, really cool, because like my mind went to, okay, is the reason why Amy was killed is maybe she was a part of the cover up for the husband being dead. Like I kept waiting for that to pop up again, but it didn't pop up again. So I was very much like on my edge. And then I was like, okay, no, that was just that didn't get brought up again. Then let's see. So they keep going to other people's houses for the knitting club as the murder is happening. So we go to, after Pamela's, it was then one of her, the male, the man in the group, they went to his house and started getting to know each other more. And then, they went to the rich woman's house. And she had a big, huge, see, this is where it got kind of confusing for me because when they originally went to, I'm trying to remember her name.
Jean Worthington is the rich blonde woman. And then Roland DeCamp is the guy who drives the Porsche, but somehow is in a knitting club.
Yes. For his like calming of his like blood pressure and things like that. So Worthington hosted next with her beautiful little sweater cookies, and she was this is when Pamela decides that she wants to show the skins of yarn to the group, say like, have you guys ever seen this before? It looks really really rare. And everybody was sort of like, no, haven't seen this before. And Worthington was like, yeah, I've got all this yarn here in this basket that I don't know what to do with. And apparently that was supposed to be like a really big clue, but I didn't know, like I didn't notice it being a big clue.
But she doesn't really even find out, she doesn't find the needle till like the very, very last end, like when she goes back to Jean's house to check on the cookies.
Well, she wasn't trying to find the needle necessarily. She saw the same skin of yarn.
That Afghan.
Afghan made out of dog hair yarn in the
yellow basket. Glowing yarn.
Yes, the one that was super, super smooth. I totally missed that clue. I had no, like, it didn't even dawn on me because I really didn't like I wasn't paying attention, I guess, very well, or maybe it wasn't like in my face, or
it was very subtle. Like, I don't think they were mostly focused on the Afghan hound and the woman at the store where she purchased it, wanting to buy it back. That was the weirdest part about it.
And so, and then that woman was also a suspect for the murder as well, because of the yarn going missing or whatever. I was just, there was just a lot going on. You also, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, plus you have that whole subplot where Dory's husband, Chad Lawrence, is the artist, and he drew that beautiful picture of Amy, the victim. It's outside, it's in the garbage. Dory threw it in the garbage. She didn't want to keep it. Also, I just didn't understand why, obviously he was in love with her. And so she's on the phone. You overhear Dory on the phone. She's like, oh, I bet you wish I was the one that was dead and she was alive. And so you're like, And so you find out that he was in love with her because she was so beautiful once he met her. So I don't know why she would stay married to him if he's in love with somebody, like even not your sister, just anybody else.
Yeah. Well, and at the end, when Dory finally goes to Pamela's and is like, you thought that I killed my sister. And she's like, you know, she's like, I kind of understand that. He was in love with her. She didn't want him. And they never actually did anything. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, and she's like, and no one else would want him, is what she said.
Yeah. So that's why you should keep him.
Yeah. I was like, Dory, you can do better, girl. You can do better. And
then it was kind of funny because, so Dory's an ice sculptor, and then all of a sudden at the end, she's making some really obscene, weird art for a bachelor party.
Yes. She said that that's the art that pays her bills, whereas the artwork that she puts into the museum or like the gallery is what she really would rather do. Yeah.
Well, also, I put a note in here. I'm like, why is she making a stripper ice sculpture on a Tuesday? I don't know. I don't know why that stood out to me. I was like, why is she making it on a Tuesday? It was mentioned in the book that she went there on a Tuesday to her ice sculpture place. I don't know. Maybe
that was supposed to be her. That's technically like her alibi of why she didn't kill her sister. So fast forward, sort of rewind back. So Pamela and they go to the funeral and they start hearing gossip about like different people and from that town and how they moved to this town.
That was so confusing. There were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names given in that gossip session you overhear.
Yes. And apparently that gossip session was very, very, very important. And of course, I didn't think that it was that important, but you learn that Amy's parents are big do-gooders, and they, for example, something that was scandalous was they helped this woman out of a woman's shelter, gave her a job, and then she ran off with $500,000 and embezzled it from the job. We fast forward towards the end and we find that Worthington is actually that woman. She is the one who embezzled all of that money. And she is the one that killed Amy because she swears that she recognized her and she didn't want to have to go back to her old way of living.
Yeah. I don't know how you were supposed to devise that. So Tracy Slade is the woman who got the job for the mayor, then took off with the money from the taxpayers, and then somehow transformed herself into this super wealthy woman named Jean Worthington.
Yeah.
Which I guess that was a play on words, Worthington.
Yeah. Not worthy. Yeah. Okay.
So she goes to confront her and then, go ahead.
No. Yes. No. Yes.
She goes to confront her and then she pulls out a gun and then she's like walking. She's like, go to the back. And she's still like very snooty about it. She's like, I don't want to ruin my furniture with any of your blood. So go outside. I don't know where she lived. It sounded like she lived high up on a ridge and then they had to walk all the way down to the water.
Yeah. It was almost like, you know how some of those houses, they back up to like a pond or something?
Yes.
It's sort of like, that's what I was envisioning when I was reading that.
Right. But she actually gets the better of her. They tussle. And then Jean's husband, her new husband that doesn't know that she used to be Tracy, comes home and he's all confused. And he's like, what's going on? And then they call the police and it's all over.
Yeah. And then I was actually surprised at how much longer the book went after after that you figured out the whodunit and like the story about why they did what they did. I was like, okay, like, because it just kept going. I mean, like at least 3 or 4 more chapters afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Dory comes over and gives her an ice sculpture of her looking brave, and then
Pamela's daughter and is it Bettina?
I think so.
Yeah, they go and have like a potluck with her neighbor and his 2 daughters and everything like that. Like it was just like it was a lot more extra afterwards.
Yeah,
not that I hated it. It was just very, very different than the way like normal cozies sort of go.
Yeah, totally.
All right, let's look at the stars. So Lisa gave it 2 stars. Mary Lou 4, Summer 2, Jane 4. We've got some 5 stars. Anna Ross, she hasn't finished yet, but she says 4, 3, 4, 4, some 3s. Courtney gave it 2 stars because she doesn't like third person point of view.
Yeah, I don't either. I like first person.
4 stars. 2 stars, wasn't a big fan. 3 stars, 3 stars. So it looks like a lot of people like we're in like middle of the road. I gave it 3 stars.
I gave it 2.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. I think I really just expected the kitty cat to be in it more, and I think the fact that there were so many different red herrings kind of threw me off because it was very hard to keep track. I mean, I read it all on ebook, and so it's not like I was listening to it at a fast pace and I missed details. Right. It was more like I was reading it at like a normal pace. So I don't normally miss that many details. So I was very like, okay.
They were maybe a little too hidden, like the clues.
Yes.
Like way too subtle.
I agree. Amy says that she gave it 4 stars, but she was super annoyed with how judgy Pamela was of Larkin. Yeah, she was totes judgy.
Yeah, very.
Renee says 2.5 stars, would be of 3 if they didn't feel like the yarn types who looked down on cheaper acrylic yarn. Yeah, they were very Glorious Train Wreck Mom. That's hilarious. I love that. Passive aggressive note writing at its finest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, why I don't understand why Roland, who drives a Porsche, needed they were like, oh, did you find the stainless steel knitting needles for me or whatever? And I was like, why can't he just go out and buy his own in his Porsche?
I think that was showing how like he's cheap. Like,
okay.
The reason why he's rich is because he doesn't spend money on frivolous things. But then in the end, he went and bought himself because he was tired of waiting.
Right. I was like, why do we keep talking about this?
Yeah. Was it just me, or was there a lot of filler about the food Pamela ate every day? There was a lot about, I'm glad that she was eating, but yes, I don't mind a lot of food talk if it's a food cozy, like if it's a baking cozy or like a culinary cozy or even like the spice cozies. That doesn't bother me at all. But I think that maybe there was more food talk because it was Thanksgiving. So like it wasn't so off kilter, but I can understand that being a little much. Lots of food in this one, which wore on me pretty much every meal and snack. This book made me start crocheting a blanket. I love that. I wanted to pick up my skin of yarn that I found whenever I redid my office, like cleaned everything. I was like, oh, I want to go knit. And I'm like, I don't have time to knit.
You can do it while you're watching TV.
Yeah, but then I just... No, because Alex is on me. And then whenever Alex is asleep, then I read. So then it's like, I have to pick one or the other. Dory reminded me of Burke Ramsey.
Who's Burke Ramsey?
I don't know who Burke Ramsey is.
I don't either.
As a knitter, I love seeing other knitters here. Anna agrees that Dory is very strange. Yeah. Dory was so weird, but once I knew she wasn't the killer, I was happy. I agree. did we ever find out who Amy made the Argyle socks for?
No.
No. Like, I guess you can assume it was for Dory's husband, but the way Dory talked was like she didn't give her love back to him the way that he felt for her.
Yeah, it was just kind of odd that there were socks that were meant for no one, and we never, and especially because the novel kept going on and on after they caught the killer.
Yes. Yeah. I was kind of surprised not once a size of needle was mentioned. Oh, yeah, it does make a difference. Yes.
True.
Dory is very, very strange.
Well, I think the problem was Dory didn't really have a personality. She was just like this erratic person that
she was just a very awkward turtle, and like one moment she would have a personality, but the next moment she was super quiet, and then like it wasn't really explained. So
it wasn't consistent.
Yes. A lot of imagination on the part of Pamela and Bettina choosing their suspects. Very, very much so. April, I live by the OU campus, and we have had protests of professors' promotions and tenure several times over the years. See, I never went to college in a like university setting. Like, I mean, I went to university, but I lived on my own in my own apartment. Like, I was never a part of the campus area other than just going to class.
I went to St. Mary's, which is an all-women's Catholic school, and then we had Notre Dame across the street, and not once did and 95% of the students live on campus their whole 4 years, and not once did anyone protest anything. Ever.
I liked the red herrings, except for the lady at the Brooklyn knitting shop. I felt like that one felt contrived. Yeah, I can 100% see that.
Did you know that you can take hair from a dog? I would never think to cut the hair off my dog.
I had no clue. I was like, wait, what? I didn't know. I'm constantly like, okay, where's my delinter? How can I get like all of them off of my shirt? Cozy Home Corner says, I feel like authors drop breadcrumbs for pieces of the main character's past so you feel more motivated by the next book in the series. Agreed. Mm-hmm. And when they do it really, really well, I enjoy it a lot. Britt, the Brooklyn yarn shop fertility ritual angle was very weird.
I forgot about that. Yes. Agreed.
I love how the one male member was just like, no patterns, don't care, just doing the things. Mm-hmm. And then he made it for his dog.
Oh, did he? Roland?
Yes, he made it for his dog. I seriously wanted those sweater cookies too. Like they sounded amazing. Let me see. Renee, it was very nice that they had a crocheter in the group. Crochet is often overlooked and sometimes poo-pooed by knitters. Yeah. I actually went back and looked when the clue about the gold yard came up. I missed it, so it was a good one. Okay. I like that you went back to like double check. I loved Bettina. I thought her and her husband's like relationship with each other was fantastic. Cracked me up. I just got a feeling it was Jean as I was reading. I was at the sweater cookie part. Yes. Yeah. Let's see. The doctor and the neighbor she's annoyed with are different people. Yes, they are.
Yeah. For some reason I thought they were the same, but they're just two different men.
Okay. As in John Bennett Ramsey's brother.
Oh. I don't remember that so long ago.
Okay. You cut the hair off. You take the hair out of the brush after brushing the dog.
Oh. I don't think I'd ever want that, though. I don't want to keep it.
No. Not personally, but some people, like my sister probably would love to have like a sweater knitted from her dog's fur. I feel like we need more information about the knitting aspect. And of course, based on the cover, I felt like the cat would be more in the story. And I felt like the cat will be finishing. I felt like the cat will be finishing the body.
I think that's a typo.
Yeah. Fun fact, you can also make dog hair into diamonds. And then Shingora yarn from dogs, warmer than wool. Not sure how itchy, though. That is a fun fact. Oh, you don't cut off the hair. It was a typo. Thank you. But yeah, I like overall, I thought that it was a solid like first book in a series, but I wasn't drawn to the characters enough to be like, I need to pick up the second book in the series. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not reading probably any more in this series.
I mean, the covers are so freaking cute.
Yeah.
Oh my, like, I just kind of want them just for the adorable covers.
The cat, the knitting. It sounds like it would be perfect, right?
Yes. Yes, Britt, I liked the fall vibes the book gave me. Guys, it is so freaking hot in Oklahoma. Like right now it's 7:30 at night and it's 91 degrees. It's 7:30 at night and it's 91 degrees. Like today, my car doesn't go over 100, like the little thermometer, and it was over 100 degrees today. It was disgusting with like 60% humidity. It was like
walking air just running constantly.
Oh my God. Yes, it is constantly. It's ridiculous. Knit of the Living Dead has the cutest Halloween cover. See, I'm so drawn in by the covers, guys. It's just, I agree. The cover was so cute. But I won't go run to the next one.
Yeah.
Taylin, I love your nails. Thank you. I'm actually trying a new, these are nail stickers.
Very cute.
And so I'm actually trying a new brand.
Did you make your earrings you're wearing today?
Huh?
Did you make your earrings that you're wearing?
No, I did not make these ones. No. But yes, I am now teaching myself how to make clay earrings. It's been fun.
Cool. I'm
here for the fall vibes. 93 in Chicagoland. That's just gross.
Yeah.
I love Norman, but it's just stupid hot. Stupid hot and humid. Ugh. I'm a sucker for the covers too. They're so fun and bubbly and cute, and I have higher expectations when the covers are super bubbly and cute. I'll tell you, I enjoyed this one much more than the last book I read. You have to tell me what's the last book?
Was it the last one we read for the book club?
Yeah, was it the last one for the book club? This humidity is killer for us wavy curly girls. I have bone straight hair. My hair doesn't I have to really curl my hair in like a can and a half of hairspray to keep curls. It's just ridiculous. Ugh. But yeah, so I mean, I'm glad that we read it so that we know,
Yeah, especially because it's been on your shelf for 2.5 years.
It has for forever. Really, really has.
Maybe we'll find a better knitting book next time we do a hobby book.
Yes. Like I love Elizabeth Lynn Casey, and hers is all about sewing and knitting as well. And I've read almost all of this in that series. I love it. I think it's the Southern Sewing Circle series. It was one of my first cozies that I ever read. I enjoyed this series, but I liked listening more than when I read the ARC.
Yeah, that's the problem with ARCs. You can't get audio on ARCs. You gotta read them.
Well, sometimes NetGalley has actually come out with a couple of audiobooks.
They're awful. Have you listened to them?
Yes, they are.
I don't know what's wrong with their player. I was like, oh, this is
I'm like, why don't you just let me download it in a format that I want and then upload it to my audio player that I want to use in the end?
Yeah.
All right, but we have a winner for next month's book.
So we are it's won by 37 votes is The Cracked Spine, which is set in Scotland.
Yes, I am so excited to because I spent a week in Scotland. I am so excited to go and look at my pictures of Edinburgh and remember the food and the beer. Oh, I'm so excited. Nice. So excited.
And then we promised you guys 2 other things, a clue for our secret project.
Our secret project.
So this is clue number 3, which is that this event will now be an annual event. So we're going to do it every year.
Yes.
So now you have 3 clues, and then we'll announce it on our YouTube channels, probably the first week of August, if not maybe the second, depending on when we get our graphics done.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
And we have a book giveaway. So I'm so sad it didn't win, but Carleen O'Connor, so just by some weird coincidence,
Yes.
Both of us chose Carleen O'Connor books to nominate. So Murder in an Irish Village is her best-selling series. So Carleen has generously agreed to sign a paperback for you and drop it in the mail to you this week. So let's see. I don't know. Has anyone read that book? Anyone read that? I've read the whole series.
No, but I'm all for it.
Full disclosure, I am friends with her. So, hey, Google, give us a number between 1 and 20.
$17.
All right. So,
Count from the bottom up.
Yeah. It's hard, right?
It is. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Anna Ross.
Anna Ross. Yay!
Yay! So just send over your address to Lisa, and she will send it over to Miss O'Connor.
So I put my email in the bottom. It's lisa@lisaseifert.com.
Yes. And someone asked if we had a picture of the cracked spine. I'm Googling it right now. Like what it looks like.
Even though we can't show it. Or I guess you'd have to share your screen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just purchased it, so like.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
So like it looks like this. It's not the best picture, but it's like the front of a store and the door's open. There's an adorable dog next to a knife, and it says The Cracked Spine on the awning. It's by Paige Shelton. So let's see. A lot of people have not read it. I think I might read all the books that were in the poll this time. Yeah, have yourself a little international book flight, Morgan. That would be fantastic. I love book flights. You're going to love The Cracked Spine. Yay!
Oh, April, you already read it.
Yes, awesome. Okay, well, so excited. So excited. Yeah. We'll see you on the Facebook and on the Instagram and all of those fun things. Alex turns 1 on Saturday, so I'm like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm like doing all the things, and I'm a hot mess, but we will chat with you guys later. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Thanks so much for being here.
Bye, guys.
Bye.